I go walk.
Hey guys, it's Katelyn, and today I'm here with my second and sadly last costume tutorial of 2015. So today's costume, if you haven't already guessed it, is Charlie Brown from It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And if you guys have seen the show, you know that Charlie Brown and his friends dress up as ghosts, and instead of only cutting 2 holes for his eyes like all of his friends did, Charlie Brown had a little bit of trouble and he cut a lot more than just 2 holes. And so I thought I would show you guys how to make a doll version of this costume because I just find this such a cute and funny costume. Alright, so without any more further ado, let's get started with this tutorial. The items that you're going to need include your girl or boy doll, a large white t-shirt, pieces of black construction paper, a white crayon or colored pencil, a circular tracer of some sort, a brown paper bag, yarn or string, tape, scissors, a single hole puncher, a few rocks, a pair of black shoes or sneakers, and optional, the letter to the Great Pumpkin, which you can find on our blog. The first step is to take our old white t-shirt and scissors and to cut and adjust it to fit onto our doll. And also, just a really quick disclaimer, make sure you get your parents' permission before you start cutting anything. So the best way that I found to do this is to just stand your doll up straight with their arms out so that we can make sure that their arms can get out of the costume. And then you just gently put the shirt over their head, making sure that they don't fall though, so you have to be really gentle about it. Adjusted the t-shirt to the way that I like it. I'm now just going to decide where I'm going to cut it, and of course no one's going to look the same because we all don't have the same size t-shirts, but as you guys can see, this is the bottom of the shirt, and like the top of the shirt with the little head part, that's in the back. But this part looks fine, but I think I'm just going to cut these parts off and then just make sure that it looks even on both sides of the shirt so that this part isn't longer than this one. So now I'm just gonna lay my t-shirt flat and cut everything off so it's even like I said. So now that I have cut my t-shirt to size, I'm now just gonna put it back on my doll and adjust it the way that I like it. I've adjusted the costume, as you can see, to the way that I like it, and you can't tell from this angle, but the front and the back are even now, and his arms stick out on the side, so that's really great. Just one very quick side note for you all about what your doll should be wearing under the costume. They pretty much can wear whatever they would like because you obviously cannot see what they're wearing under the costume, but I do recommend that if you're using a girl doll instead of a boy doll, like how I'm using Max, you do tie their hair back in like a ponytail or a braid or something like that, because when you take the t-shirt off of their head, their hair is going to be really messed up and tangled, and you can't really do anything about that with boy dolls, but if you have a girl doll and you can help it, I recommend tying their hair back. Next, we're going to work on cutting out the circles for the holes in our costume. So as you guys can see, I actually already traced all of the circles because I wanted to use a colored pencil for this, but I could only find a white crayon, which is really surprising, but I only found a white crayon in my house, so I had to use that. So I had my brother help me trace the holes for me because it was kind of hard to do it by myself with the crayon. So now that I've finished cutting out all of my black circles, I'm now just going to put tape on the back of all of them so that we can stick them onto the costume. But make sure that you flipped your circles over so that you can't see the white side where you traced it. So now it's time to put our circles or holes on our doll. So you can pretty much put them wherever you want. You just need to remember that you need to have 2 holes where the eyes are supposed to go. So just make sure that you have 2 there. Other than that, you can go absolutely crazy. The circles are on, you can see that the costume is obviously starting to come together. So now we're going to work on his paper bag full of rocks. To make the doll size bag for your doll, you're going to need a regular size paper bag, scissors, and tape. So first start by flipping your paper bag over and finding the little part where the bag meets itself on the back because it makes a perfect line down the middle. So now you're just going to want to take your scissors and cut across that line to cut down the middle. Once you've cut your paper bag, take one side and open it up normally. Then take your other side and open that up normally as well. And then take your scissors and cut out the side of the paper bag. So this rectangle right here. Now that this side of the paper bag has been cut out, I'm just going to tape it to this side of the paper bag to close it off. This is taped together. You can obviously see that this is now a littler version of a paper bag. So now we just need to cut it to make it a little smaller. So the way we're gonna do that is we're just gonna fold it together like we would in a paper bag and cut off to however short you want to make it. I'm gonna cut it to about right there. So now that we have made our little doll-sized paper bag, we now obviously need to have a way for our doll to hold it. So I'm just going to take my single hole puncher and punch 2 holes at the top and then cut some yarn and string it through so that there's a way for Charlie Brown to hold his bag full of rocks. The strings attached and the bag made, we can just put it on our doll's hand. So now something that you obviously need to put in the bag, and that is rocks. So I went outside to my mom's garden and I got some rocks here. And so now I'm just gonna slip a couple into the paper bag in case anyone looks in there. Now there are actually rocks in there, and Charlie Brown actually got rocks for Halloween. So finally, this is something totally optional, but since this is a Charlie Brown costume, I thought that this would be such a cute thing to add to it. So if you guys have actually seen the show, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, you'll recognize this as being the letter that Linus writes to the Great Pumpkin, and I just thought that this would be something really cute for our Charlie Brown to carry around in his little paper bag. And obviously, even if you're not making this costume, you could always print this out and have one of your dolls have it on Halloween because it's just a really cute little letter. So obviously I got the words for the letter off of the show, but I did put this really cute Halloween border around it that I got off Google Images, and I think it just turned out really cute all together. So even if you're not making this costume, feel free to go to our blog and print out this letter and use it for this upcoming Halloween. But since I'm going to be using this for the Charlie Brown costume that I'm making, I'm now just going to take my scissors and cut around the border to cut it out. Now that I have my letter cut out, I'm just going to fold it in half and then stick it into his little paper bag. The last thing you need to do is just put some black shoes or sneakers on your doll. And we're done! Now your doll is Charlie Brown for Halloween. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a safe and happy Dolloween.